Today, we're diving deep into one of the most shocking and carefully guarded secrets in 90 Day Fiancé history. Forget everything you thought you knew about Liz Woods. We're talking about a secret boyfriend, a surprise wedding, and news that has the entire 90 Day universe buzzing. Liz Woods is about to become a mother again. This isn't speculation. This isn't a rumor. This is the story of Liz Woods and her new husband, Ly Allen, and we have all the details. So grab your tea, get comfortable, because we are about to unravel the incredible secret life of Liz Woods. To understand how we got here, we have to go back to the end. The end of Ed and Liz, their journey on 90 Day Fiancé. The last resort was supposed to be their final chance. We all watched, holding our breath, as they seemed to find some sense of peace. They even got engaged again. Wedding invitations were sent out. The venue was booked. August 29th, 2023 was supposed to be their big day. But then silence. The wedding day came and went with no photos, no announcements, no celebration. Instead, there were cryptic social media posts and a deafening quiet from both of them. Then the bombshell dropped on an episode of 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After. During a phone call that would echo through the fandom, they revealed the wedding had been called off. The reason? A seemingly trivial argument over taco pasta. Taco pasta. Let that sink in. After years of emotional turmoil, this was the final straw. Ed claimed Liz was slicing and dicing him, insisting the fight was bigger than just food. He canceled the wedding, the officiant, everything. He told the cameras, "I'm not going to get married." For many viewers, this moment felt like a relief for Liz. The relationship had long been described as toxic, with Big Ed's behavior drawing constant criticism. But for Liz, it was public humiliation layered on top of private devastation. She had uprooted her life, her home, her stability, her daughter, for a future that vanished overnight. Liz packed her bags and left their home in Arkansas, heading back to her roots in San Diego. And this, my friends, is where the story truly begins. This is where Liz Woods, the reality TV star, disappears, and Liz Woods, the woman, begins to write her own narrative in secret. As Liz settled back into life in San Diego, the public expected to see a single woman rediscovering herself. And for a while, that's exactly what her social media showed. Nights out with friends, quality time with her amazing daughter Riley, and a renewed focus on her career. But behind the curated posts and Instagram stories, a new love was quietly blooming. A love so private that almost no one saw it coming. His name is Ly Allen. So who is Ly Allen? Our investigation reveals that Ly Allen is a complete contrast to the loud, attention-seeking personalities of the 90 Day universe. He's a successful but deeply private individual based in San Diego. He's not in the entertainment industry. He has no interest in fame or the spotlight. Sources close to the couple describe Ly Allen as the anti-Big Ed. He's a single father himself, devoted to his young son, and that shared experience became one of the first bonds between him and Liz. They both understood the unique challenges and joys of single parenthood. Ly Allen works in the tech industry and is known for his intelligence, calm demeanor, and unwavering dedication to his family. Supportive, steady, and grounded. Everything Liz hadn't had in years. So how did they meet? The story is refreshingly normal and surprisingly sweet. There was no dating app, no reality TV setup. They were introduced by a mutual friend. This friend had known Liz for years and watched her struggle to rebuild her life after the very public collapse of her engagement. She knew Liz needed stability, not more chaos. She also knew Ly Allen, a kind, grounded man who had been through a divorce and was focused entirely on raising his child. Their first meeting wasn't even a date. It was a casual group hangout at a local San Diego park. Both brought their kids. Eyewitnesses to that first meeting, people who had no idea they were watching the beginning of a love story, said the connection was immediate. But it wasn't fiery or dramatic like what we saw with Ed. It was gentle, comfortable, easy. They talked for hours, mostly about their children, shared experiences, and hopes for a peaceful future. For Liz, it was a breath of fresh air. After years of walking on eggshells, of having her weight, her career, and her past thrown back at her, Here was a man who was simply interested in her. Not Liz from TV. Liz the mother. Liz the hardworking woman. Liz the survivor who had been through the fire and was finally ready for a real partnership. Keeping a relationship secret when you have over 600,000 Instagram followers is no easy feat. But Liz and Lai managed it with masterful precision. Their courtship was a lesson in subtlety. They avoided every typical new couple social media trap. No gushing posts. No tag photos. No soft launches with a mysterious arm in the corner of a picture. Their dates were intentionally low-key. Instead of trendy San Diego hotspots where they might be recognized, they chose quiet hole-in-the-wall restaurants, lesser-known hiking trails, and evenings at home, slowly blending their two small families. Their inner circle was tiny and fiercely protective. Only a handful of close friends and family knew the truth, and everyone was sworn to secrecy. This wasn't about hiding something shameful. It was about protecting something precious. Liz had lived her love life under a microscope for years, and she was determined not to repeat that mistake. She wanted to build a foundation with Lai Allen rooted in trust and privacy, not public opinion and viewer ratings. There were a few close calls, though. Eagle-eyed fans in San Diego reported spotting Liz with a mystery man on gossip forums. In one instance, a photo surfaced on Reddit showing Liz at a farmer's market. In the background, a man matching Lai Allen's description could be seen holding her grocery bag. But without a clear shot of his face, the rumor was quickly dismissed as wishful thinking from fans who simply wanted to see Liz happy. And that was the genius of their strategy. By hiding in plain sight and never giving the gossip machine enough material to work with, they were able to cultivate their relationship inside a completely private bubble. Liz had learned from her past. She knew firsthand how public scrutiny could poison even the most promising connection. With Lai Allen, she was determined to do things differently. She built a fortress of privacy around their love, and she guarded it fiercely. During this time, her public persona focused on one thing, her glow up. She posted about her fitness journey, her dedication to her daughter, and her work. And all of it was real. She truly was glowing. But the real source of that glow wasn't just the gym or the single mom hustle. It was the quiet, steady, and deeply supportive love she was receiving from Lai Allen behind the scenes. As their bond deepened, conversations about the future naturally followed. But for Liz, the idea of another big, public wedding was deeply traumatic. The ghost of the canceled ceremony with Big Ed still lingered. The thought of sending invitations, choosing a venue, and risking another very public collapse under the microscope was more than she could handle. Lai Allen, being the understanding partner he is, completely agreed. He had no desire for a lavish affair. All he wanted was to be Liz's husband and to officially blend their families. So they made a decision, a radical decision for a reality TV star. They decided to get married in secret. The ceremony took place on a secluded beach in Northern California, far from their San Diego home base. The guest list was fewer than 10 people. It included their children, their parents, and the one mutual friend who had introduced them. That was it. Number 90-day cast members. No TV cameras. No photographers hiding in the bushes. The entire event was planned with the precision of a covert operation. Guests were given the location only 24 hours in advance. Phones were placed in a basket to ensure no photos could be accidentally leaked. The officiant was a close friend of Lai Allen's family. A source who attended the ceremony described it as incredibly emotional and profoundly real. There was no pretense, no performance. It was just Liz, Lai Allen, and their children. Liz wore a simple, elegant white sundress and went barefoot. Lai Allen wore linen pants and a white shirt. Their vows were handwritten and they both cried. They didn't talk about the past or about television. They talked about the future, about building a home, about creating a sanctuary for their children. When they were pronounced husband and wife, there was a deep sense of peace. It was everything a wedding should be. Compare that to the chaotic, drama-filled wedding planning we watched unfold on television. This quiet ceremony was a true testament to their commitment, not just to each other, but to a new, private way of life. Liz Woods became Liz Woods Allen in a ceremony so secret that the entire 90-day universe had no idea. She finally got her happily ever after, and she did it entirely on her own terms. And if you think a secret wedding was the biggest bombshell, brace yourself, because there was an even bigger secret. As Liz and Ly Allen exchanged their vows, they were holding onto life-changing news. Liz Woods is pregnant, and she's not just a little pregnant. Sources close to the couple have confirmed that Liz is in her third trimester and due to give birth to her and Ly Allen's first child together very soon. This revelation recontextualizes everything we've seen from Liz over the past several months. Her social media posts, often framed from the chest up or featuring loose, comfortable clothing, were deliberate. The mysterious illnesses she hinted at months ago, assumed by fans to be stress-related, were actually the telltale signs of morning sickness. Liz and Ly Allen made a conscious decision to keep the pregnancy private for as long as possible. They wanted to experience this sacred time without unsolicited advice, body shaming, or relentless speculation. For Liz, this pregnancy is a dream come true. She has always been an incredible mother to her daughter Riley, and the thought of giving her a sibling, while building a larger family with a loving, stable partner, is everything she has ever wanted. For Ly Allen, already a devoted father, this baby represents the final piece of their family puzzle, a symbol of their new beginning together. They already know the baby's gender, and in a beautiful tribute to their blended family, they've chosen to let their children, Riley and Ly Allen's son, be the ones to announce it to their small circle of family and friends at an upcoming baby shower. The thoughtfulness and care they've put into every aspect of this new life is remarkable. They are building a family grounded in love, respect, and above all, privacy. Which brings us to the two questions everyone is asking. What does this mean for Liz's future with the 90-Day Fiancé franchise? And how did Big Ed react? Let's start with the franchise. Our sources are clear. Liz is done. She has no desire to return to reality television. Her contract with TLC has been fulfilled, and she has politely declined offers to appear on spin-offs like Pillow Talk or Diaries. She's grateful for the platform the show gave her, but that chapter of her life is officially closed. She is fiercely protective of Ly Allen's privacy, and most importantly, the privacy of their children. You will not be seeing Liz's new baby on television. Now for the question everyone's waiting for. Big Ed. Because of how private Liz's new life has been, Big Ed was completely in the dark for a long time. He didn't learn about her new relationship from Liz herself. Instead, he heard whispers through extended social circles as information slowly trickled out. However, he learned about the marriage and the pregnancy the same way everyone else did, at the same time, and from the outside. Sources say Liz made a deliberate decision not to inform Ed personally. Her reasoning was simple. She owes him nothing. Their connection is severed. Her new life, her new husband, and her new baby belong to a future he is not part of. Reaching out would have only invited drama, and Liz is committed to a drama-free life. As for how Ed will react, we can only speculate. If history is any indication, there may be emotional, reflective, or even bitter social media posts. He may frame himself as a victim, or claim to be happy for her while subtly attempting to reclaim attention, but one thing is certain. None of it will affect Liz. She has moved on in the most complete and profound way possible. The story of Liz Woods has become a modern fairy tale. Not the kind told in Disney movies, but one rooted in reality. It's the story of a woman who endured a very public, very painful ordeal and refused to let it define her. Instead, she used it as a catalyst to build the life she truly deserved. She didn't find her prince on a white horse, but in a quiet, kind-hearted man at a park. She didn't have a royal wedding in a grand castle, but she built something far more powerful. A life of peace. She didn't need a castle, a crown, or an audience. What Liz built was something far rarer, something real. In the weeks following the quiet confirmation of her marriage and pregnancy, subtle shifts began to appear in Liz's life. Not on social media, not in flashy announcements, but in the way she carried herself. Friends noticed it first. There was a calm about her that hadn't existed in years. The anxiety that once clung to her seemed to dissolve. She laughed more easily. She slept better. She stopped bracing for impact. For the first time in a very long time, Liz felt safe. That sense of safety extended to her daughter Riley as well. Those closest to the family say Riley has flourished in this new environment. The instability of the past, the breakups, reconciliations, moves, and emotional whiplash had taken its toll. Now there was routine. There was consistency. There was a household where voices weren't raised and love wasn't conditional. Ly Allen didn't try to replace anyone. He didn't push. He showed up. School drop-offs, homework help, family dinners, bedtime stories. Slowly and naturally, a bond formed, not forced, not performative, just earned. Riley saw what Liz had been searching for all along. A partner who showed up without needing to be asked. The blending of their families wasn't perfect. No real family ever is, but it was intentional. They held family meetings. They created new traditions. Sunday mornings became park days. Friday nights were for pizza and movies at home. Phones stayed off. Presence mattered. This was the life Liz had once imagined, but never believed she'd actually have. Meanwhile, the 90-day fandom continued to speculate wildly. Without confirmation, theories ran rampant. Some insisted Liz was still single and simply enjoying a break from the spotlight. Others believed she was secretly filming a comeback season. A few diehard skeptics claimed the rumors were fabricated entirely, and Liz let them talk. Silence, in this case, was power. Behind the scenes, Liz made deliberate choices about her future. She began quietly shifting her career away from influencer and toward more stable, behind-the-scenes work. Brand deals were vetted carefully. Anything that required exposing her home life or children was immediately rejected. Money was no longer the motivator. Peace was. Ly Allen supported every decision without trying to steer her. He never asked her to quit social media, never demanded privacy as a condition of love. He trusted her judgment, and that trust only reinforced her desire to protect what they'd built. As Liz entered the final stretch of her pregnancy, preparations remained intentionally small. No extravagant nursery reveals. No sponsored baby gear posts. The baby's room was simple, neutral, filled with soft colors and hand-me-downs mixed with a few meaningful new items. One object in particular held special significance. A framed copy of the vows Liz and Ly had written to each other. It hung quietly on the wall, not as decoration, but as a reminder of the promise they'd made to choose peace, always. The baby shower, when it happened, was equally intimate. Held in a friend's backyard, it was more celebration than spectacle. There were no press leaks, no paparazzi shots. Just laughter, kids running through sprinklers, and a quiet moment when Riley and Ly Allen's son stood together to announce the baby's gender. The reaction was pure joy. No cameras, no retakes, just family. And while Liz was focused on her future, the past continued to linger in the background, mostly in the form of public reaction. Big Ed's name trended briefly when whispers of Liz's new life grew louder. As expected, his social media became reflective, then vague, then defensive. Posts about growth, about lessons learned, about timing. But Liz didn't respond. Not publicly, not privately. There was nothing left to say. That silence spoke volumes. Industry insiders confirmed that TLC did make last-minute attempts to bring Liz back once rumors of her pregnancy began circulating. A Where Are They Now segment. A limited interview. Even a heavily edited sit-down meant to give her side. Liz declined them all. Her side was her life, and she was finally living it. As her due date approached, Liz stepped even further back from social media. Posts became infrequent. Stories disappeared altogether. To the outside world, it may have seemed like she vanished, but in reality, she was exactly where she was meant to be. At home, in love, at peace. The day the baby arrived, it happened quietly, just like everything else in this new chapter. No announcements, no hospital selfies, just a text message to close family, a few tears, and the beginning of a brand new life. Motherhood, for Liz, felt different this time. Not harder, just steadier. She wasn't doing it alone. She wasn't constantly proving anything. She wasn't surviving. She was thriving. Friends say, Watching Liz now feels like watching someone exhale after holding their breath for years. The sharp edges have softened. The desperation to be chosen is gone, because she chose herself. And in doing so, she found everything she'd been searching for. Love that doesn't hurt. Stability that doesn't vanish. A partner who doesn't need to be managed. A family that feels like home. The fairy tale didn't end with fireworks or applause. It didn't need to, because the most powerful transformations happen quietly, away from the noise, away from the audience, away from the pressure to perform. Liz Woods didn't win by proving anyone wrong.